Okay, and we are supposed to be live, so can you guys all hear me? Okay, I know there was a little bit of an issue last night with the audio, and part of it is because those headphones have some nasty feedback, so I need to take that off. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Let's see as people are checking in. We got Crystal Lewis, we got Brenda Foley, we have Vivian Calvi, we have Shirley Kissinger, and we got Tiffany of Tiffany's Quilting Life. We got Sarah J's here. All right. So I finally got the program working correctly. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you, Jeannie. Sounds okay. So it's good to see everybody this morning or this afternoon. Um, well, let me tell you a little bit of story so that you can kind of understand why I'm doing this today. So, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? Anyway, a couple of weeks ago, I did a live event where I was making an Easter wreath. And after that live event, or shortly thereafter, my neighbor's house got caught on fire and got totally leveled. And so we had to actually, I stayed at a Best Western for a few nights. And when we finally got back into this apartment, I knew there was already smoke damage. Or the facade of the building on the side was heavily damaged. Fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the family next door, well, yeah, I haven't seen them come back yet because, of course, their house is totaled. And so, what I also didn't know was that tangent to or in conjunction with the house being on fire, all the electrical wires and my internet connection, all of those things got affected by that because those wires melted. And so, all of this week, I didn't have any internet connection. I didn't have any TV service. Of course, I wasn't here too half the time. But, well, I didn't have a chance to film any video because I didn't have any power in here as well. So I figured, well, instead of throwing a last minute video on, now that the power's back on, why don't we just go ahead and do it live? So that's what we're doing. We're doing week number 34, and we're doing it live. So, good afternoon, Miss S. Taylor. Hey, hi, Pat Strawhouse from Muskoka, Ontario, Canada. Oh, is that Canada? Hey, Amelia. Hello, Dorlyn Dale. And Emily is definitely here. Hello, Miss Emily. And Crafting a Simple Life, good morning, or good afternoon, I should say. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so this week and in the next couple of weeks, we're going to be doing some strip set blocks. I figure we've done a few, but let's do a few more. So I figured I inadvertently picked these colors. I mean, it's very Easterish, don't you think? Hello, Elizabeth Collins. Good morning, Judy. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is these are 2.5-inch strips by the width of the fabric. And I'm not sure how much of the fabric we're gonna need, but I'm just choosing 3. You can do multiples if you want. You can do varying sizes, 1.5-inch strips, 1-inch strips. That choice is yours, but I'm just doing 2.5-inch strips here. We're gonna be making a strip set out of these. So I'm gonna first sew the yellow to the pink, and then sew the blue, or this light blue color, onto the 2 that I've already sewn. So let's make our strip set here. So put it right sides together. And some of these strip sets, well, they may not have been cut accurately. So I might have slightly different strip set, or strip widths, I should say. But again, these are all 2.5 inches, or it should be roughly 2.5 inches by the width of the fabric. And forgive me, but this camera, when I'm operating the sewing machine, it is going to vibrate the camera or shake the camera a little bit. So forgive me for that. I haven't solved how to mount this camera just quite yet, because it is on top of this table, and the table is connected to the sewing machine. So when I do start sewing, it is going to vibrate and shake a little bit. So I do apologize for that. Let me get situated. So what is everybody working on this morning or this afternoon? Hello, Judy Patterson from Connecticut. I know this was kind of an unexpected live broadcast. Kind of just decided to do it last night, so I did some test runs, and some of you caught me. And trying not to stretch these strips. You know, for some reason, well, this is just my natural tendency. I have a tendency of actually pulling on strips, like when I sew like this. I'm trying to get better at that. Let's see. Okay. And I'll sew up on a piece of scrap there. Okay, I'm trying not to actually sew at full speed so that the camera doesn't shake as much. And I just heard the battery go off. Okay. Of course, it happens on a live. I just charged it too. I guess I have to replace the battery. Okay. Un momento, por favor. Okay, looks like the battery's charging. We're good to go. First glitch of this live. There probably will be many. So who else has come in? Cheryl Curley, I need to work on a quilt that's on the long arm. Yeah, I need to do that too. That heart quilt that I've been talking about this whole time. Yeah, at least I got it down from the design wall, but I still need to actually get it quilted. So I am pressing it today and I'm going to load it up today. That's my goal for today. If I get that far, I'm happy. So, hello, Vicky. Deb Heacock, greetings from the land of Oz. I'm working on the cornerstones and sashing on my fall frolic sew along with Pat. At this rate, it might be done by fall 2022. Is that the Pat Sloan pattern? Okay, Brenda Foley, I'm quilting my mother-in-law's Dresden. She's not well, so it got bumped. So I am sure my March one step forward goal will not be met. Oh, Brenda, prayers for your mom. But that's a very good reason. Maybe your one step goal could be to get that Dresden done. Okay, and I'm just trying to finger press this, but I need to concentrate. Okay. Dora Lindale's working on Stephanie Stitch's charity quilt for tops for the Snuggle and Hugs camp for special needs and cancer children. Okay. I didn't realize that she was doing that. Okay, then Jeannie Whalen, sorry if I butchered your name, finishing up a string quilt. And Paula in OKC piecing the back of the panel quilt that is for my sister's birthday. Oh. Okay, then Tiffany is sewing with me. Okay, you probably beat me already. Judy, right now, I'm not 100% confident in my long arming skills. So right now I don't do any long arming for customers. And I also have a regular 9-to-5 job. So I'm not always able to, finish things on time. And so right now I'm just not taking any customer quilts in terms of just the quilting because of the time delays and just managing my time. Sometimes I do put in like 80 hours a week, literally. This week, because of this week our company is actually going through a financial audit, so we are asked to put in some extra hours, and so it's weeks like this where I struggle to actually even find the time to come into the sewing room. I'm lucky I was able to do it today, but I did have a work meeting related call this morning on Zoom. So yeah, it's more or less just kind of managing my time and just trying to find the time to be in the sewing room. That, if I did do some long arming quilting for customers, it would probably take me over a year to get it done for them. So I just don't do it. I just do it for myself right now. That may change in the future, though. So it is Pat Sloan's pattern. Okay. I love all the sew-alongs, but there's only so much time in the day. The powers that be have other plans for my time more often than not. That's true. That is so true, Deb. Okay, yep, Tiffany, 3 strips. So here's the third one coming on. So, hey, Sue. Glad that you could join us. And hello from Sweden, Miss Gisela. I'm still waiting for my lingonberry. Actually, I need to go to IKEA to get my lingonberry. If I can drink it. Okay, again, I'm going to start sewing, so I apologize for the camera shaking. Okay, I'm just trying to not floor this machine or floor the foot pedal because I know that the camera is shaking really badly right now. I need to somehow try to figure that part out. Oh, did I break a thread? No. Okay. Bye, Emily. Have fun at the park. Okay, I'm working on a crumb square quilt that and the 2019 52. Okay. 52 blocks, 52 weeks sashing. Okay, while enjoying your videos. Well, thank you, Elizabeth. Judy Patterson, what kind of job do you have? I actually work in the finance department of a nonprofit here in Los Angeles. And so we have about offices across the United States, and then we're also affiliated with an international organization that originated in Japan. And so sometimes I do travel to the other offices to kind of do like surprise visits. And I usually schedule them right around some quilting event. So there's been a few times where I've gone to the Kansas City office and made a visit right around when the Kansas City Quilt Festival or Regional Quilt Show happens. And of course, you know, since Missouri Star is over there too, I say, hey, why not? As well as my favorite long arm quilter, Miss Angela Walters, has her shop there, so I make a visit to that shop. Okay, and I'm just finger pressing this for now. Good afternoon, Mary. Oh, that's cool. I'm in AP and AR for Boot Factory. That's exactly kind of what I do, but I'm sort of manage all of it. So you know what I mean, Mary. Hey, Miss Sheila. Okay, so we got our strip set made. And I just kind of finger pressed it all, pressed the seams all to just one direction. So I'm going to actually take this to the iron and give it a good press. I'll be back for 1 second. Okay, so we gave this a quick press. Yeah, oh gosh, I really chose some very Easter inspired colors. Well, maybe that's because subliminally I've been seeing a lot of these same colors everywhere. Okay, so here's our strip set. Again, this is 3 2.5-inch strips by the width of the fabric. I just sewn them all together into one strip set, and the seam allowances are all pressed in one direction here. So I'm going to fold this in half, and I'm going to fold it in half again, just so that I can actually cut this down. Okay, now I'm going to grab a 6.5-inch ruler here. This strip set, when you get it all sewn together, it should measure at about 6.5 inches, in which this one's pretty good, so I know I'm pretty accurate on that. Hey, Bettina Fink, welcome to the live. Yes, Miss Sandra, we're on another live. Okay, so since the strip set is 6.5 inches wide, we're going to cut it 6.5 inches long, and I'm going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, in which, since I have it folded, I'm going to get, just out of one single cut, I'm going to get all 4 pieces. So let me first of all just line this up. Okay. And I'm just going to make a straight edge cut here. Okay, this I'm going to put in my crumb bin. And this is going to go in my pillow stash collection. So I'm just going to cut a 6.5-inch block here. Right. This will be an extra piece that I can use for later, but I should have 4 of them now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep. Sarah J. Note to technical manager. The description for the lives for Easter wreaths. P.S. That was a really nice show. Oh. I thought I changed it. That's weird. Okay, I'll take a look at that, Sarah. Thanks for that. Hello, Miss Heather Grintz. How are you this afternoon or this morning? Brenda Foley, Tiffany, so happy for winning. So happy for you for winning that embroidery machine. Looks like a dandy. Yes. If, in case you didn't hear, Tiffany did win the first place prize at the Sewing Machines Plus Online Quilt Festival for 2022. And she won first place in the traditional category. So we're all very happy and proud of that. So congratulations, Miss Tiffany, again. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm going to take 2 of these squares. Again, so if you joined in late, what I did was I took 3 2.5-inch squares, made a strip set out of them, pressed the seam allowances into one direction, then I subcut that entire strip set into 6.5-inch squares. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make half square triangles out of these. So I'm going to draw the line. We're going to do the 2 at a time half square triangle method, where I'm going to draw the line right down the center on the back of one of these squares. And we're going to sew a 1/4 inch away from the line on both sides. Hello, 1914 Kyoto. Sing the song. Haha, 2 at a time, half square triangles. 2 at a time, half square triangles. She knows me too well. Okay, so to make these half square triangles, what I'm doing here is I'm going to turn the one that has the mark on the back, I'm going to actually flip that or sew it on with the opposite color on the top. So on here I do have this turquoise, then the pink, and then this orangey yellowish color, but this one I turned it upside down. And when we sew it together, again, we're going to sew 1/4 inch away from that center line here. And we're making half square triangles. Okay. Do your best at matching the seams, especially towards that center drawn line. That's where the point is really going to show. Okay. In fact, I'm going to put a pin. I'm kind of just feeling for the seams, making sure that they're nested together. And I'm going to insert a pin right there so that the fabric won't shift, because I can kind of feel that it's a little bit off there. Yep. And that one's a little off here too, so I'll insert a pin there. Sandra, one of these days you and I are going to have to go flamenco dancing or salsa dancing. Okay. So now I sew 1/4 inch away from that center line. And again, I do apologize for the camera shaking. I'm trying to slowly sew this so that it doesn't shake as much. There's 1, there's 2. I'm going to flip it around, sew down the other way. Sew off on a piece of scrap and cut that off. So there's 1. Doing this to both sets of squares? Yes, we are. Okay, I'm going to need the longer ruler here. And we're going to cut. Okay, then when we open it up, we should get a block that looks like this. And so for now, I'm just going to finger press it down. Looks like a pyramid for now. Okay, so put this to the side. And we'll do the same thing with the other sets. So again, gonna flip that one around. And we'll draw the line on this one. And we'll sew both sides, 1/4 inch on both sides. So here. Hey Kim. Good to see you again. Now, making sure that the opposite colors are going, and we're gonna nest our seams right here towards that drawn line. So I'm gonna put a pin right here, and I'm gonna put a pin also here. Okay, thanks for letting me know, Mary. When I was doing some test runs last night, people were saying that the shaking when I was sewing was very noticeable. But I think it was because I was actually going at full speed when I started sewing. So I guess me slowing it down a little bit helps with that. Hi, Marie. Okay, so we're starting to sew again. Oh, forgot the pin was there. Take that pin out. Ooh, dropped it. I better pick it up. I'm afraid I'm gonna step on it. Where'd it go? How in the world did I lose a pin? Well, there it is. Okay. Wow. I need to vacuum this floor. Okay. Now go down the other side. And we'll sew off on a piece of scrap. Okay, there. So we got our second one. Okay. Yeah. The piece flipped and I sewed it right on. God darn it. And I can't edit this out of a video because this is live. So, okay, let's just pick some stitches. You know what? I'll do it from this side. It'll be easier. Yeah, once in a while that happens to me when I'm not paying attention. I think the pin falling on the ground kind of distracted me because I was so worried I was going to put my foot on the pin. Yeah. So speaking of which, let's pose this question to everyone. How many of us actually use pins and how many of us don't? Personally, I will use pins if the points to me are going to matter or if I'm trying to match seams. But usually if I'm sewing two pieces together where I'm not so worried about the seams, I don't put a pin in there. I know a lot of people They will tend to pin everything, and that's fine too. But are you a pinner or are you just I match my seams and hold it tight and sew it and pray for the best? Oh boy, I really did a number on this one. Okay, I'm just gonna cut it. Seam ripper, you're my best friend. Yes, it is. No pins really, but I have to. Yeah, sometimes you really do have to. I use pins to make sure my seams match. Yep, so Marie, you're in the same category as me. JD Patterson, I do when it's needed. Okay. Kim, I use pins for sharp points and long seams and when matching seams. That's a good point. Even on long seams, sometimes I'll pin it, sometimes I don't. Sas. Gisela does both, no pins and pins. Okay. Let's see. Paula, I pin when needed. I think most of us do. I do both plus clippies too. Okay, Mary, you got all four corners covered then. That's great. I try to avoid pins. I will get stuck if there is one. Okay. Pat Strawhouse says, I rarely use pins except to match points and sometimes with small blocks. Yeah, it does. Using pins, I do find with smaller blocks, for me especially, it does help to keep the fabrics together, and it does help to actually keep the points, so or you won't lose your points that way, or it lessens that fact. Sheila says, I use pins most of the time. It comes sewing clothes. It comes sewing clothes for most of my life. Oh, okay. I've been sewing clothes for most of my life. Okay. Kim, you're making me jealous. You have a big mug of cranberry juice. Okay. Deborah Heacock says, depends on whether it's new to me, whether I can live with the results, and the number one reason I will pin is multiple dates with Jack. I just had a short, brief one here. Okay, Dora Lynn says, both depends on the size of the squares. I have not been quilting that long. Okay. You know, Dora Lynn, don't feel bad about it because when I first started quilting, I pinned everything. Um, just until I got more confident in some of my sewing skills. And I do recommend for especially those that have not been sewing for or quilting for a long time, you know, there's nothing wrong with pins. I think they're a great tool to help you. So feel free to put as many pins as you need. Too late, Gisela. She already said it. So, Shirley Kissinger, I usually end up pinning my fingers. Yeah, I've done that too. Well, these days I kind of have to because I have to do my blood sugar reading every morning. So, so yeah, I have to prick my finger every single morning. And they say you get used to it. It still hurts. Okay, let's see if I did get this one on good now. Yep, we're good to go now. Pins are great until you poke yourself. Yes, they are. Okay, so I'm going to cut right on the drawn line. And we have our second set of half square triangles. And yep, we are going to be using all 4 of them on this block. Okay, I was so worried about the point there on the pink, but that came out pretty good. Okay, Judy Plaster says, I'm starting to pin more because I have my little nephew watching what I do, and they will copy you. I know that for a fact, so good on you, Judy. Hi, Polly. I usually only pin if I'm making garments, rarely in my quilting. Okay. Sust. That's true, Vicky. You never really do get used to that little prick. And I call that tool my little prick, for that matter, because it hurts. I mean, it's not painful. It's not like leg cramp painful, but it just stings, I guess, is the word for it. That's what it's called, Deb. Thank you. The Lancer. The Lancer is my little prick. Sucker hurts worse now. That's true, Deb. I changed the Lancer, or at least the needle part of the Lancer, or the pin part of the Lancer, and oh my gosh, that sucker hurt like heck. Okay, so we got 1 set of blocks. I'm gonna arrange it like that. The other set of blocks get arranged like that. And I was trying to make it so that it pinwheeled in the middle, but no matter how I arranged it, the pinwheel never came out. So you could swap colors if you want to and do something like that. Well, maybe I'll do it like that. Yeah. You could also do something where it's like this. Actually, this was a block that we did previously, which was called End of Day, but we only used 2 strips on that block and not the 3. Let's try doing this. So there's different layout options, but the way I kind of did it was sewing it. Was it like this? No. Like that. Yeah, Vicky, that's not an unusual fact because a lot of us that do have diabetic or diabetes, like even for me, I lost about 30 pounds in a good 2 months or so. So yeah, you do lose weight. I guess that's the silver lining in all of this. Which I lost a lot of weight fast. But I have a belief that you lose the weight mostly because if you do change your diet, you're not eating as much carbohydrates and sugars. And even for those people that don't have diabetes or they give up carbs and sugar, they lose weight fast too. So okay, so now I'm using a bunch of pins because these points to me are going to matter. especially the points here in the center. So I'm just making sure that it's lining up. And we're going to sew the two blocks together. Okay, then we'll put these two blocks together and we're going to sew down on that seam. Whoops, forgot to switch my camera. Sorry about that. Okay, so since you didn't see what I was doing, let me actually replay that. So I already got this half of it sewn together. What I was doing was just kind of playing around with the layout. And this is the layout that I wanted to put together, but I was actually turning some of the pieces around, flipping this out so that we would get this effect and the two half square triangles on the outside. But in the end, I'm actually going to go for this layout here. And I was trying to look as to how we can make a pinwheel effect here in the middle, but no matter how I laid it out, it didn't work out that way. So I'm just saying, okay, we'll just do it like this and lay it out. So play around with the layout on this because this is actually a very fun block to do. Okay, we did a similar block where we had these two smaller half square triangles facing outward. And that was week number, oh gosh, what week was it? Well, anyway, the block was called End of Day. It was a similar block, or the construction was similar to this. It's just that we only used 2 strips and not 3. But let me put it back. Okay. Pin it there. We'll pin it there. Okay. And let's sew this block, or this half of the block. One thing I do have to get used to about doing a live stream like this is there's about a 30-second time delay. So as I'm saying this, you'll hear it on YouTube 30 seconds after the fact that I've already said it. So, which is why I was wearing headphones before, but yeah, the headphones would confuse me because I would be saying one thing and hearing another thing. And I'm already confused as it is, so I didn't need any more confusion. Okay. So, some strays here. press this down. Again, I'm just finger pressing the seams to one side here. So on this bottom portion, I'm going to press it over to the right. Top portion, you guessed it, I'm pressing it over to the left. And I'm going to keep those dog ears on there for now. But now I'm going to sew these two halves together. We can nest the seam in the center here. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Dorlin. And I'm going to put a pin here at each of these intersections where the strips meet. Just to make sure that, because I do not want to miss those points. And if they do come out off, I'm not going to stress out about it. My youngest is trying to talk me into starting a YouTube channel. Silly girl thinks that I actually have time for that. You know, I will say having a YouTube channel can be fun. I mean, it's a way to connect to other quilters that are out there. But it is a huge time commitment. And even just doing these live, like these YouTube live events, because you do have a lot of time to set up the equipment, set up the cameras, learn the software, learn how everything works, and then after that you got to clean it up, take it down, break it down. So yeah. Okay, I need to iron this flat later on. Okay, so this is the final seam. And let's see how we did. Okay, that center point, well, it's a little bit off, but that's not going to worry me so much. I'm more worried about these points here matching. So that looks good. Okay, and there is a lot of bulk here in the center. So now I'm going to clip off all of these extra dog ears here. And let's see, do I want to press this open? Yeah, because we'll get it started here. We're eventually going to just press the center seam open because there's a lot of bulk I can already feel right there. Where's Woody? Open, open, open. Okay. Thank you, thank you. I see a lot of people saying that they love the block. So thank you. Seems like you need a lot of equipment, multiple cameras. Sandra, I chose to get multiple cameras just so that I could actually give you guys a better view as to what I'm doing. I do know a lot of YouTube creators that just use one camera and they move that camera around a lot. But when they do a live event like this, you know, they only have that one camera, so it usually just faces them. But when they do like an actual video editing, they can move the camera around, and sometimes it's more beneficial to have one camera sometimes when you do like an actual video, because then you can, it's a lot less complicating to do. But on a live event like this, it does help to have multiple camera angles all kind of going simultaneously at the same time. You just have to remember that if I do switch it from one camera angle and I start talking about something on my cutting board, I need to actually switch that camera angle back so that you can see what I'm talking about. Well, thank you, Julie. Okay. Okay, so let's get this block pressed here, and I got a notification. I should have turned it off. So I'm gonna go to the ironing board and I'll be right back. There you have it. It's all nicely pressed. And let's see, the block should measure about 12 inches. Mine's a little short, or mine is coming up a little short. And it probably has to do with the center seam because there is a lot of bulk in there, so I may have not sewn it correctly, but I'm happy with it. I'm a happy camper with this, so. Cut off the dog hairs there. Oh, one more here. Oh, thank you, Sandra. This is, well, this is enjoyment for me. It gives me an incentive to actually come into the sewing space every week to at least do something. So thank you guys for showing up. And Tiffany says, I'm mostly a one camera girl, but sometimes I do use the multiple cameras. Yeah, it's a little hard when you're operating multiple cameras all at the same time. So it does take some getting used to. Mary Warzak says, I need to learn how to do multiple cameras. Yeah, it's not a difficult skill to learn, but it does take some time to get used to, Mary. So Jeannie Wallen, thank you so much. Thank you. So, you're very welcome, Kim. So bold, so modern, stunning. That block is a keeper. Just maybe having it on my bed might keep me awake. Slightly more muted colors for me. Okay, well, give it a try, Sarah. Um, the construction's not all that difficult. You're just basically, again, making a strip set. Making a strip set of 3 strips. You're going to subcut each of those into 6.5-inch blocks or squares. Put them together. Draw a line down from diagonally corner to corner and just make half square triangles out of it. Then you can kind of arrange 2 pairs of them into making this block. So as you just saw, it took me less than an hour to actually do this block, but the result is what you see here. So depending on the colors that you want to use, depending on the fabric that you want to use, it can have a dramatic effect of, or it could be a dramatic look, I should say. Okay, I was told by my great nephew that he is not little. He is 12 and in the 6th grade. Oh, he's a big boy now. And Tiffany, Sandra can't wait to see what you produce with your new machine. Neither can the rest of us. Dun dun dun, the pressure is on. Nah, if I know Tiffany, she'll handle it. She'll figure out something. And what she can't figure out, she'll make it work. Good grief, I'm yawning like crazy. 3 active grandkids makes for 1 worn out old lady. Definitely nap time when you're done. Or coffee time, Kim. Okay, so that is this week's block. I don't have a name for it yet. What should I call this block? The Easter egg? No. Any block name suggestions? I'll be open to it, and I will change the description after this video goes up on YouTube. I have 2 Janome single needles, and they are addicting. You know, I never did get into embroidery so much. I tried, but that just never happened. I just never enjoyed it because you're letting the machine do all the work for you. Well, I'm the type of person where I want to operate the machine and be active in it, so The double butterfly. Okay, I like that name. Test pattern. Okay. Ah, Eric's Joy. Okay. Yes, we shall call it Eric's Joy. Spring butterfly. That's a good one. Camera shy. Box of spring. I do like that name too. Hello, Miss Ellen. Glad to see you this morning or this afternoon. Spring butterfly. I do like that name. You know, if I had a strip down the center, I would definitely call it that because then it would represent a butterfly a little better. But box of spring, I think that's a winner. So we'll call it the box of spring block. Actually, I don't know. Is there an official name for this block? Does anyone know, Tiffany, or any of you experienced quilters? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to come up with this block. Hourglass within a square. Okay, that works too, because there is an hourglass within the square. But then there's another hourglass here. Ooh, shutterfly. Good one, Laura. Ooh, I do like that too. Shutterfly. I don't think so. I like Shutterfly too. Okay. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll choose some of my favorite names, put a poll on YouTube, and you guys will decide what the name will be. I think I'm gonna nominate Shutterfly, Springbox Creation. What was the one? Spring Butterfly. Okay. That was the other one. And what was the... Oh. Eric's Block Creation. Yeah. I have to put that one in. Oh, Spring Hour. That's a good one, Donna. Well, thank you, Ellen. Yeah, I do like Shutterfly too, Sandra. Where's my notebook? I forgot to write this down. Oh well. Geese Box Hour. Oh yeah, there is a flying geese here. Laffy Taffy Block. The Laffy Taffy. That's cool. So we've been on for a little bit over an hour. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. So, okay, the block to be named. For now, I'm just going to call this the viewer's choice block. Or the block to be named by the viewers. So look out for that poll. Well, I want to thank you guys. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. If there are gentlemen out there, besides myself. Eric is no square. No, I'm a curve. But I do want to thank you, ladies, for joining me. It's kind of unannounced, sort of. Maybe once a month, I'll actually do a live block sewing like this again. So look out for those in the future. And in the future, I'll probably give a much more advanced notice about these live events rather than just kind of coming up on here and winging it. So be on the lookout for those. Now, I do know that I do have one more live event planned coming, maybe not next week, but the following week, in which we're going to be actually making one more last minute Easter wreath that is coming, or that someone asked me to make. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that. Okay. Well, thank you again for joining me. Take care and have a great rest of your day. And now go out and create something.